Bridge, if you're still on my stream, is the audio working? It should be. I think I fixed the source. All right. Are you on TikTok?
Yeah. Yeah, for once.
You can still barely hear me? What the fuck? Like the mic is right near my face, so that's not the problem. Let's mic source. Yep, that's what it is. Fixed it. No, it's not you. It's because my mic source Aria, add me in before you leave the room. Brother. What?
Brother.
Yep. It's sometimes after if I like don't set my computer enough, it like switches to a different mic source. So it's pulling microphone audio from my like webcam or something, which is why it's bad. But yeah, pull me in on a TikTok, brother.
Wait, we're co-hosting, right? So go live.
But like
go live. We both have to be live for that.
Oh, okay.
To get max pull, you know?
Sorry. I'm really like lashing out at everybody today. I just lashed
There you
out
go.
at you. There we go.
It's all right.
Bridget. I'm sorry, guys. I'm doing.
Yay.
All right.
We did it, guys. We still know how to do this.
We only do it 3 times a week. No, it's different. We're trying different things. We're futzing with the formula.
Yeah, we are trying to do cool things for people, you know?
That's the thing is we're trying to do new stuff and trying to get in front of people in the best possible way. So let's see if we can do a board or something on here. Cause yeah, your board went away when,
Oh yeah, dude, our chats. Oh yeah, there we go. Now we're synced. That one was my fault.
There's too many buttons to press, you know?
All right.
Kayla, good morning. Georgie's here. Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can put the only thing with the co-hosting is that we can't put anything on our
walls. Let me see. No, yeah, we can. I have an option.
All right.
Oh, backgrounds.
Dirt.
Yeah, boards and stickers. Oh yeah.
Sorry, guys.
I'll put a sticker up real quick.
When you're early, you get to see the nonsense. Yeah, where is Andy? I got one of your videos in the hopper for today that I want to talk about.
Nope.
Let's see, accept.
No. Why are we in a match now? I don't know what I did.
I feel like these are the people who are like debate perverts use this, who love to be like, I love kissing Trump's balls. Tell me why I'm wrong.
But I've seen these before, and they're never debating, though. They're like, come on, guys, just tap, 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 tap. And it's like, what the hell is... We're like mice and hamsters now, right? Like, it's like, all right, guys.
I hate it. I hate
just
it.
just tap, tap, tap. Faster. So what's up, Marissa? How's things? Now I can't hear you through Twitch. I can't hear you through Twitch, Marissa. Can't hear you through Twitch.
Thank you.
There you go.
I think I went on mute for some reason. Did I get muted because I was talking about balls? Is that why? And then my headphones.
No. Now your mic is something else, yeah.
God, I'm really struggling today. I'm sorry, guys.
I win.
Um, I need to get a different headset. Hold on. I gotta go off camera for a sec. I gotta
Eh,
actually now solve this problem because my
Yeah, yeah,
headphones died. So give me a second.
yeah.
You talk to our friends and I'll be back.
Take your time. So, uh, yeah, yeah. So, okay, I flipped my image because I wanted people to see like my background because like my background looked flipped. On my stream, you should be able to see it like correctly. Part of the part of the reason I mean the reason I'm putting these up, so just on my stream, can you guys see, can you guys read, is it being written correctly or is it flipped, actually flipped? Damn it, I was like trying to fix mine. Oh, all right guys, hold on a second, I got you guys. Give you guys some magic. I thought I was fixing mine, but I was really not. There you go. Is that better? Is that better? I just some magic. I just some magic. Okay. God damn it. I'm like too smart for my own britches here. They tried to fix it for you guys and I actually fucked it up. Anyway, New Hampshire. Welcome to New Hampshire. Welcome to the establishment after these couple days, right? Like this is what I don't know. There's so much news we're getting, right? There's so much buckshot news we're getting. And I feel like our heads are everywhere, including today, which, apparently the Democrats just released another set of Epstein pictures. Surprise, surprise. Like what a day to release those when we just had multiple ACA votes rejected, like we knew they were going to do. And surprise, surprise, another impeachment effort, which a legitimate impeachment effort, I think. And we had Maggie Goodlander vote no to table it. She voted to table it. One of the 23 or 24 House Democrats that flipped. Now, what is the special part of this is
Thank you.
they just called for her execution, man. Like Donald Trump just called for Maggie Goodlander's execution, where I released the video and Marissa releases a video. A whole bunch of people release videos being
I'm
like,
back
"All
at the
right,
perfect moment.
yeah, we stand with Maggie Goodlander here." And again, going back to Gene Shaheen, remember the big and I know Heath is having his posting about this too right now, but that our the whole shebang on the government shutdown was this ACA subsidy vote. And look how it's like not even a peep. Like the news is not hitting this the way they were hitting the shutdown. It's just like it's like in and out, right? Same with the impeachment vote. And I hate to remind y'all, and I'm sure a lot of you guys do know that this is going on, but I have to bash on it. And I have to say, are we surprised? No. Are we angry? Yes. But we knew this the entire time, and we are going to coalesce around this. We are going to continue messaging around this because this is the whole deal, guys. This is the liberal establishment right here, sticking its head out and saying, doesn't matter. They can threaten us, they can call for our death as much as they want. We're still going to be in lockstep with them. How you doing, Marissa? I don't want to
It
like keep
is
talking
kind
here.
of incredible. Okay, now I have adult headphones.
Sweet.
Everyone, tell me if anything is broken now, please. But I think we're better. I
Your
wanted
is your
to
microphone?
share
Are you using the
a
right microphone?
clip from our friend. I wasn't, but I should be now. So that's
There you go.
better. Tell me if I'm still sounding off. Yeah, the blue ones were a little too small in my head because they were built for an infant. Um,
I'm for the people.
sorry, Aria,
It's okay.
throwing off your game today. Do you want us? I was
Yeah.
about to share. If you look in our chat, I was about to share Brendan's video on this topic.
Yeah. Hell
It's
yeah.
Maggie Hassan. It's the most recent one at the bottom of our chat. If you want to just one, while I futz with this.
Hell yeah, I will. Uh, one of my many chats here. All right, here we go.
For those that don't know,
Oh,
this
Humble brag.
there it is. There we go.
is Senator Maggie Hassan. She is one of the two senators from New Hampshire that broke with Democrats to vote with Republicans last month to end the budget shutdown. Now, in that deal, ACA, or Affordable Care Act, sometimes called Obamacare, subsidies were not included, which means that all of our health insurance plans next year are slated to go up. Now, the promise that was made to Maggie Hassan when she voted with Republicans is that there will be a vote this month. Well, that vote was today. That vote was to continue the ACA subsidies, again, that keep our insurance premiums from skyrocketing. Today, Senator Hassan posted this statement: my statement on today's failed healthcare vote. Now, you can pause to read that. It's just kind of some bullshit like, oh, Washington Republicans are choosing to allow a surge in healthcare costs. This is how much a family making this much money will have to pay more in health insurance. And I want to point out that Maggie Hassan is not surprised by this at all. She is feigning surprise. She knew that when she broke with Republicans, or she should have known, either this is incompetence or malice. I don't know. Choose one. Neither are good. But now she gets to turn around and say, like, look, guys, I tried. I tried really hard to protect our healthcare subsidies and to keep healthcare affordable. She thinks that we're stupid, or that we won't notice, or that we won't remember. I also want to remind people too that Maggie Hassan, who is senator of New Hampshire, now I don't know if you know this, but New Hampshire is on the northern border of this country. Well, in 2022, she posted a campaign ad about how she's on the southern border. So, after breaking with Republicans, after pulling off stunts like these that completely alienate the base of people that care about the rights of humans, and also she made this about 2 years before Trump was reelected and is now throwing people in concentration camps, but whatever. I just need to ask, with Democrats like Maggie Hassan, who needs Republicans?
Hey, did you?
I first of all, I was so excited to see and tell me if can you hear me? Does everything
Yep.
sound
Yep.
normal? Okay. First of all, follow Brandon if you're not already. He's awesome. He's somebody who's been like commenting on my stuff and been sort of a mutual for a really long time now, and I really respect his point of view on a lot of things. So he's a good follow on TikTok. But yeah, I think it's an important reminder that like as Hassan and Shaheen are going on their little tour, their little like press tour right now of like who could have known this would happen? Like don't everybody, we need to be looking at the Republicans. That's who to blame. It really does it's the implication is that we're all stupid. The implication is that we don't understand and we can't see through what's happening. It's never been more obvious to me how much political theater that we're watching play out every day. This is what we all knew would happen. This is what we knew would happen the day that they caved. This is what we knew would happen in the lead up to the cave. You and I were on here. We were on all everyone was on the apps like calling, encouraging each other to call, talking about the conversations we were having with the staffers. Like this is not a surprise. This is why people were like no one thought this was going to work. No one with half of a fucking brain thought this was going to work. And so for them now to be coming out and going on this tour of like, well, who would have thought? We did everything that we could and the Republicans just did a bad thing. They want us to be pointing all of our energy at the Republicans so we don't point it at them. With Democrats like this, who needs Republicans? Exactly like he said, it's like that's why I feel like I'm having different conversations with different people, sometimes different types of people who either understand that we're talking about two wings of the same bird or don't understand that, right? It's like this is a perfect example as we watch this political theater play out. Um, and then I also wanted to play, I've got Pat's video pulled up where he has the NPR interview with Gene Shaheen. I don't know if you have anything that you wanted to chime in on too before I play that video? That's
No, just I mean, what I have to say for one of them, it's gonna apply for all of them, I think. So yeah, let's see Pat.
All right, let's do a little. I think I'm prepared.
Selena just reported you're going to vote on 2 plans today, and neither is likely to get the 60 votes that it needs. Is that how you read the situation? It is, sadly, and it's sad because so many people are seeing their insurance rates come through, and they're doubling, tripling, in some cases even more, and people are concerned about whether they're going to be able to pay those rates, and we're going to see a lot of people who are going to lose their health insurance if we don't address this. I'm wondering if there's a chance you're getting played here, and here's what I mean by that, Senator. Vulnerable Republicans, a few of them will be able to vote for something today. It'll still fall short of 60. The Republicans get cover, and the bill doesn't pass. Well, I think people will know very clearly who to blame if it doesn't pass. We're seeing in the House a discharge petition that's trying to force a vote that has a number of Republicans who have signed on, who are trying to force the Speaker to actually get a vote on this, so that, because they're feeling heat from their constituents who are seeing these rate increases and not being able to afford their health insurance. We had a shadow hearing yesterday. We heard from a woman in Virginia who's a small business owner. She paid $544 a month for her plan in 2025. Currently, that same plan is slated to cost $842 for the month, and without the subsidy in 2026, her plan would cost $1,552 a month. That's not affordable for her. That sounds similar to the story that Talia Sims-Duffin just gave us. So if both bills do fail today, what happens next? Do you vote on something else? What happens? Well, I hope that talks are going to continue and that we might be able to reach a compromise agreement, because we need to make sure that we address this issue for the people who are facing these huge rate increases. If we don't, we're going to have about 4 million people who are going to lose their health insurance. And that's going to have ramifications throughout the healthcare system. We know that people will go to emergency rooms. The cost of uncompensated care, so that's care that's not paid for, is going to be over $7 billion. We know that is going to have an impact on everybody's health insurance rates, even if you have employer-sponsored health insurance. So we need to address this issue. And beyond that, we need to address the high cost of healthcare. And there are things that we can do and that we have worked on in a bipartisan way. We should take up those bills, and we should pass them, and we should address this, because it's in the Republicans' interest to do this. Sorry to interrupt, Senator. You said 2 things that I just want to comment on. First, you point out that the rest of us pay for the healthcare of people who don't have insurance, who aren't able to pay for insurance. You also mentioned the high cost of healthcare. Do you accept the Republican argument here that Obamacare fundamentally did not bend the curve, as people once said? It has not brought down healthcare expenses overall, and that's why you keep having to raise the subsidies? We have seen healthcare costs continue to go up, but the important thing about Obamacare and the marketplace is that we have covered more people, double the number of people, 24 million people who are covered under the marketplace. And in New Hampshire, which I represent, for the last 4 years in a row, we've seen the number of uninsured go down and the cost of premiums go down as well. So I think what we need to do is to look at how we provide healthcare for all of the people who need it, and that's what the marketplace, the Obamacare marketplace, is designed to do. Now, one of the challenges is that Congress has continued to take away the funding that was designed to help lower those costs over time, so that we haven't been able to do the work that we need to on the delivery system reform to make the system work better. Got it. That's interesting. One last thing I want to ask you about briefly. Some people will know, Senator, that your daughter, Stephanie Shaheen, is running for a House seat in New Hampshire, and she criticized your vote to reopen the government and get to this vote on ACA subsidies. And I'd just like to know, how was Thanksgiving? Thanksgiving was great. I went to her house. Her husband cooked. We had a wonderful dinner. I know where she stands on the issue, and she knows where I stand. And I'm looking forward to seeing her as an independent in Congress, speaking her mind and working on healthcare issues. Okay, Senator Jean Shaheen is the senior Democratic senator from New Hampshire. Senator, it's a pleasure talking with you. Thank you so much.
No, it wasn't.
Nice to talk to you.
I know. I was really hoping. Twitch, let me know if this is a little bit better. I was really hoping that would bring up a conversation about the great video we all saw from Thanksgiving. Alas, that did not happen. But yeah, it's interesting seeing them kind of go around and shopping these PR lines that they've been prepping that I just don't think anybody is buying. What are your thoughts, Arya?
I like, you know, how I reacted when I first saw the news, and my reflex is to get angry, right? Like, the reflex here is to get angry about this, and then like literally, and it's becoming like a shorter. It's getting like I can turn myself down. I don't know. Here's the problem. I don't know who's. We're both streaming on Twitch, right? So when you guys say one's quiet and one's loud, whose Twitch are you in when you're saying that? Because that's very important. Are you in my channel or are you in Marissa's channel? Let's get to the bottom of this, because if it's me, I can fix it really quickly. On my Twitch, I'm loud. Okay, hold on 1 second. Let me adjust that real quick. I haven't touched my settings in fucking half a decade at this point. So let me see if I'm gonna just turn myself down on my channel. Yeah, I'm always fucking loud, man.
Okay, but is it working on Arya's channel okay? And is it just Marissa's channel that's the problem? If we watch on
now you're allowed.
I just send
It's always the women's fault, guys.
Guys, I'm done for. Oh my god.
You know, brother.
Oh my God. That's it. I'm done. I'm going to walk off the show. I'm walking off. He thinks he's been putting in the work for months to get to make one misogynistic joke. That's it. He spent 4 months of just putting in the work.
It's an investment. It's a long-term investment. Yeah. What can I say? We gotta take our shots here where we can get them, you know? We gotta play the game the right way.
Oh my God. All right. Demerit from Pat. All right.
Disqualified. All right.
Are we all right now? Where are we at?
Yeah, where are we at? How's everyone doing?
God. If you guys just watching Arias, are you good? Pat, thank you. Pat, come over and help us. Can we just have I just need somebody to look at my computer.
Okay.
There's like too many different places that the settings are much better. Yeah, just go to Aria's channel. Everyone give Aria the follow. Just stop following me. Go follow Aria. Men are smarter than women anyway. My takes are just reductive, and I just can't understand the complexity of the world around me because I am a woman and using my woman brain. So you should just go follow Aria, because men should just be leading. So
you guys all heard that, right? Just
that would be great. Because like I'm too emotional, right? Like,
what was I gonna say?
that's funny.
No, this is
Anyway.
this is the
Let's go
greatest day
back
of my
to.
life. This is the greatest day of my life.
Oh my God. This is the worst stream ever. We're done. We're canceled. We're off with.
No, okay. Yeah, I mean, this is, and you know what? You know what? Isn't this is like a little microcosm of? Listen, just to turn this back around on the news here is that this is like how serious this is to us. Like this is just the same shit that we expected, right? Like we expected this from them, and I think it's important. Again, I have become, and this is where you guys all everyone has to make their own decision here when it comes to their messaging here and how they truly feel about this. But I am getting to the point where I just don't know what else to do besides like having arguments with establishment Democrats and people who are still supportive of establishment liberals is not worth your time anymore. It's not worth your time. It's like arguing with Trump voters, or it's really not worth your time. They're locked in, right? Like it is time to like use that energy that you have to focus on the others now because it's fucking egregious. They're slapping us in the face now, and they're dancing. They're dabbing on us, you know. So
Yeah, I want to, in a similar vein, I want to share this video from friend of the show, Andy, who is an honorary New Hampshire resident, reporting live from Tennessee. But he had a good take on this. I'm going to share my screen and we'll watch this one because this is speaking towards your point of view and something that we talk about a lot in the context of this is a really flattering freeze frame. Sorry, buddy.
That Jasmine.
Okay, that's better. This argument that we have a lot about like the liberal establishment, corporate Dems, things like that, and the way that group, we have to start it's to your point is like there are similarities to how we deal with these folks with how we deal with MAGA because there are very similar themes. So I'm just going to play this video. Let me see if I play it on 2x or 1.5.
Get support Israel unwaveringly. I don't care that Gavin Newsom
And this
opposes
is
a wealth tax. These are all things to be expected.
I'm going to go back to the beginning. And this is trigger warning, Jasmine Crockett.
Something that I came to terms with today is that
Trigger warning,
I actually don't care that Jasmine Crockett supports Israel unwaveringly. I don't care that Gavin Newsom opposes a wealth tax. These are all things to be expected from liberals, from Democrats. And today I had to reconcile the fact that it's really just the inner liberal in me that is frustrated by these facts.
A video that really helped me put in perspective was one that a mutual reposted and I saw, and it was this.
If we got rid of APAC, but we leave capitalism in place, we will not have succeeded in our objectives. If we get rid of APAC and imperialism remain, then we will not have succeeded in our objectives.
Capitalism, imperialism, that is the multi-headed beast, right? Politicians taking money from APAC, that's just one of its many heads. It means nothing if you don't actually kill the beast. And so it's uninteresting to me that Jasmine Crockett is in full support of Israel. That is uninteresting to me because the sky is also blue, water is wet, fork found in kitchen. You know, when I say
I think this kind of speaks
something that I came to terms.
This kind of speaks to your point, Aria, about these things just being unsurprising and at a certain point not being worth our energy, because what we're seeing unfold at a federal level and the way we are seeing our federal delegation continue to prop up this administration, prop up these choices that are being made, these things that are happening, the way we're seeing people capitulate, the way we're seeing, I think you were talking about this when I stepped out of the room, but the latest sort of conversation around whether or not there should be impeachment papers filed, and their unwillingness to participate in this kind of direct challenge on the Trump administration. We're just seeing it unfold time and time and time again, and we just need to expect it at this point, and we need to just know that that's what they're going to do, because they're still part of the same machine that wants to uphold the same systems that have led us to this position. And so it really is, at least for people like me, it's been kind of a mindset shift. Andrew's in the comments saying the Democrats will always protect the interest of capital. Liberate yourself from surprise. I love that. Liberate yourself from surprise. I think that's true too. And like we were talking about it this morning, Aria, and you're like, my reaction is anger. And it's like, it's almost like, can we like release some of that, because we just know this is what's going to continue to happen. And this is why the primaries are so important, because we cannot have these corporate Democrats in these seats making these decisions, because they're going to continue to be making these decisions. They're going to continue to fail us. They've proved this time and time again. I have no more energy in my soul to be disappointed in Jean fucking Shaheen or Maggie Hassan, because these bitches are going to let me down again and again.
You know, it's moments like these where like there are theme songs playing in my head, right? Like there are theme songs playing for different things in different moments. And a lot of times the theme song of my inner monologue over the past year, over the past 3 years, 4 years, whatever, has been sad, has been dreary, has been angry, okay, has been dark, has been not been positive in any way. And again, when I say positive, I'm not saying like you can't yell positively, right? Like these are affectionately, right? You can brother affectionately. These are seriously like how I feel about like just general life, like about being, you know, that it's love is active, right? Love isn't passive type of thing. And what this should do, what the theme song playing in my head is like one of those like fucking like Rocky type like uplifting theme songs, which is like, we already know what the plan is, guys. We know the plan. This isn't anything different. The things that we have been talking about as a community, how we've been organizing, coalescing, it's with this in mind. This is how they've been behaving. It's not like new to us, you know, like they've always been centrist to the point of having an R next to their name. They're voting with R's all the time. Maggie Goodlander and her impeachment vote. Ma'am, with all due respect, brother, like they called for your death. Oh my God. Like, I just, there is this conspiratorial like part of our, Jesus Christ, let me fucking put this on for a second here. Jesus. Like you have to start playing with the possibility here that this is all a plan. It's all a plan. This is all theatrics. It's a script. They're reading off a goddamn script. I feel like Alex fucking Jones, man. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, I'm being gaslit or something beyond recognition, like into oblivion, right? I don't know how to like behave. Like, it was a few weeks ago. You know, it's not like it happened a few years ago. This just happened. You're telling the troops, do not do anything illegal. They call for your death. They call for like they're questioning your mental health. They're calling that treason now. Like it is, and this is what I again to come back to the positivity. The candidates need to contrast themselves to this. What is this? Can't even define it. Whatever it is, you better pull yourself away from whatever that is. You better put space between you and whatever that is, because it is not going to, this is not going to help them in the long term. It's just going to get worse. Their support is going to trickle the more they do this. And I wouldn't be surprised if in the next few polls we started seeing like real, fearful numbers from the establishment in New Hampshire.
I think one quick note on kind of polls there too that I wanted to express out loud to this group is like the importance of these early polls cannot be understated, especially as these candidates that a lot of us are supporting are these candidates don't have money, right? These guys don't have any fucking, what's that TikTok audio? I don't have any fucking money. Like that's the reality. And so fundraising is really difficult. And one of the things that helps them in fundraising is showing movement in poll numbers and showing improvement. Something that I thought was so interesting, and we talked about when we dug into the last round of polls and some of the raw data, is like, okay, for CD1, for example, Heath Howard showed a good amount of movement. And he also, I think he was the only candidate in that race that showed any movement. And then when you look at the raw data, I think he got like 16 poll respondents or something like that. We're talking about 16 people responding to the text message and saying like, yep, Heath is my choice. And that is enough to kind of say, hey, this is movement, right? We can show this to big groups that are coming knocking on, are going to start knocking on doors when you show these candidates can make moves in polls. So I'm somebody who always has traditionally ignored polling texts. I would encourage all of us to re-examine that behavior, participate in polls, and more broadly speaking, this is why supporting these candidates now on social media is really important, because their social media numbers play into this kind of stuff, into how much support they're going to be able to get from bigger groups, from bigger candidates that might be offering endorsements. So not only make sure you're following these guys, but helping them build their social following by boosting their posts, by talking about them. And even more than boosting their posts, it's by talking about them, right? So like we all know the psychology behind like you're scrolling through Instagram and you see somebody, maybe you just share their post to your story. That's like fine. That helps. It's better than nothing. But what's even better is if you can do your own post, even if it's not a recording of your face, but something that's like screenshots. You can do a carousel post, something that comes from you specifically, as opposed to you just boosting their content, tells your friends like, hey, this is a candidate that I actually care about. I'm not just mindlessly reposting. So my call to action would be like, think about how you can deepen your social media participation with some of these guys to help them get more traction, to help show to your direct circle of people in your life who you influence, whether it be through social media or through just you're moving throughout the world. Talk about these guys, not just guys, these brothers. Talk about our brothers here on the left, and talk about them as much as you can. That way, when your friends get the text messages about the polls, they respond. Because if you can get 3 people to respond to that poll text that wouldn't have, you're moving the needle for the candidate with ripple effects that you'll never even know. So this groundwork that we're laying right now, anything that you can do is extremely important. And that's my social media pitch of the day. And donate if you donate it as well. Obviously, people in the chat are saying that, but like they really do need the money. And so if you're able to do even $5 monthly donations, that way they can point to you, add you to their list of how many donors they have. That helps, even if it's a low dollar amount.
And I think this is I don't know if you want to segue this into what Dave and Pat did. I think it's a good way to
do it.
Yeah, it's a great segue. We were both there. Multiple people here were there as well. I mean, we can just should I just explain it or show a video? I'm just gonna explain it. Basically, I mean, in talking with, I mean, David Bates, good friend of ours in the community, in New Hampshire Talk, had a great idea, which was like a great grassroots fundraising idea, right? And he was basically like with Pat. They ended up making a couple videos, having a little Zoom get together, and we all made a toast. We all made a toast to the candidates that we wanted to see get donations from the group. We all agreed to donate $10 a piece to whoever democratically won, with some ranked choice voting involved, which I was very happy with. That's pretty cool. We're really trendsetters there. And we all gave toasts, and we ended up making our votes, and Heath ended up winning that vote. There were I think 5 candidates out there. I think the 5 candidates that we talk about all the time, obviously, right? So Heath, Howard, Paige Boschman, John Kuiper, Jared Sullivan, and Krishma Mansour were all mentioned there. And those are, I mean, to me, those are the progressives, right? Those are the ones that are, or in the governor race, as close as we're going to get to one, I guess, in Kuiper. But, I think still part of the, I would consider him part of like kind of the progressive wing, has some more progressive-ish ideas. So I think the reason I wanted to segue there and the reason we want to talk about is that, like, what an amazing idea. Like, for us, it just took us 30 minutes. We got to see each other. We all like each other. At least, you guys pretend to like me. And we, like, got to be there. We got to be in each other's presence, which is something that Marissa and I talk about a lot, right? Which is what Marissa opened the door for me is, like, this kind of being in space with you guys, right? That's how I met a lot of you guys. That's how I met Bree from the North Country. That's how I met Bridget not too long ago, and Paige Boschman and David Bates. I met them all there, at the same place I met Marissa. And I think there is something to be said when we can look at each other. When we're sitting here, making toasts to each other. And it's a very short period of time, and it's for good. And in that short period of time, what did we raise? Like $100 more if people wanted to do more. And we got it all to a candidate that we all care about. I think ultimately everyone in that group, the way they were toasting, the people they were toasting to, I think we're all generally on the same ideological platform. So it was nice. It was awesome to see. And it's definitely got my mind working right now about how we can continue, how we can like carry the flame here, right? Because it's a great thing that they started.
Yeah, it was super smart. I'm so glad we were able to go. There was like a great group of people there. It was such a low key, low effort thing. And there really is this element of like humanity when you can just even virtually like be sharing spaces with each other. One of the things that got my gears turning on was like how so much of what we've done thus far, or what I've done thus far, has been rooted in like TikTok and rooted in social media, because that was kind of what kicked off a lot of this. But now we're at a place where I think that we can do more. And TikTok has inherently a lot of limitations, and it's a really high bar for people. There's a high barrier for entry where it's like, okay, you have to be in New Hampshire and have these political views and comfortable on camera and familiar with using this app and becoming a content creator and learning how the algorithm works. And like, there's all these different pieces that make it hard for people to participate in this space. But I think this space will always be important as part of this, like, how do we get people into this funnel, right? Of like this work that we're doing. And so what does the next evolution of that look like, right? And we have this Discord space that is really awesome. And I've been noticing an uptick of activity in the Discord over the last couple of weeks as well. I think we're going to continue to see that. If you're not in the Discord already, please join it. It's great. There's a link in my bio that you can join the Discord. But we've just been talking about like, what are the other ways to kind of bring this community in? You have people like Bridget, who's like one of the powerhouses in this community, but she's like, I'm not making a fucking video, which is fair, right? People don't all need to be content creators. So I think that was also what was really special about last night, was there was a few people that I was like, oh, that was cool. Like I hadn't seen, their faces before. And I think it's a space that allows people to contribute what matters to them without having to do it in this kind of most public forum. So thoughts and ideas are welcome. That's kind of like I just wanted to sort of put that out there as like something that's happening in my brain of like, how do we do more of that virtual gathering that is with the intention of a little bit of socializing. It can be tricky to do that kind of thing in a way that's like social, but also like for information sharing and getting a sense of who's doing what work, what's happening in different parts of the state, how can we all learn from each other and really like build this more of this two-way relationship. You know, I think the last thing I'll say on this is like I hear from people a lot with like ideas and with things that they're seeing that are happening that they want to see me talk about. And I just can't talk about everything. And I just will never be, even doing this, it's like, even we struggle with this. It's like, we're never gonna, we also don't want to, right? Like, we're not trying to do the news here. We're not trying to be your morning news broadcast, right? We're trying to talk about the things that resonate with us, that we think we can speak on with enthusiasm, that we think we can raise awareness about, motivate action with. That's kind of how we decide what we're doing, but we can't do it all. So I'm very trying to actively think about what are the other ways we can activate this community that doesn't that I'm not like a blocker, or Aria and I aren't blockers, or the people who are creating aren't the blockers. How can we democratize this and sort of decenter? Like, yeah, that's kind of my where my gears have been turning on this. But all that to say, I was really appreciative of David and Pat for doing this last night, because I think it kind of, you stick your neck out to do this sort of thing, right? And you're kind of, there's always this feeling of like, oh, are people gonna like come, and like, is it gonna like, and I just really appreciate them doing that, because I think there is an element of vulnerability, and I appreciate it because it gave us a model, right? Now it gave all of us a model. So anybody here in this space can say, you know what, I'm going to do something like that. I have an idea of something similar I can do to get people together, and let us know what you're doing, and we'll try to come and like help amplify it. And you know, this movement is about, I think, so much more than just the candidates that we're talking about here. I think there's so much more happening. And there will be so much more happening, but I think using the candidates as kind of a jumping off point or a framework was awesome. So anyway, all that to say, like, I thought that was really creative, and set, you know, raise the bar on how we can be kind of showing up and using these spaces to show up and spread the word and raise some money.
Yeah, and as little as the things that we talked about before, like talking, you know, they're talking about the candidates, you know, like on your favorite podcast and calling them in, like Ramona did, you know, like it's like there are things that exist, like saying their names out in the algorithm, right? It's just that helps. Everything helps, and I do like, I know Sinahan has mentioned it a few times in the chat, and there is, and other people have to, not just her. It is constantly, and I want people to know this, because I know it's hard to know what's going on in the background, but Marissa and I are constantly, it's constantly on our minds about how we can turn this into quote unquote material disruption, right? So we talk about these spaces all the time, and like these internet spaces or these like kind of protest spaces are a great, like, for lack of a better word that you mentioned, a funnel, right? And this is new to me, right? To create action, for coming from like a shit poster, to create action from our internet interactions, right? And we do have some plans for this, and we are gonna lean on you guys too for some of those plans. And I want you guys to know that with the legislative session coming up, that we do have a ton of plans, including for Veto Day. We are going to be there for Veto Day on Wednesday. We are going to be guests. Hopefully, we're going to have our names said on the floor. I would love for that to happen, so every person in that state house knows New Hampshire Talk is in the house. And I would hope that they won't say our names. I don't care if they say our names. I want them to say New Hampshire Talk on the state floor, you know, on the state house floor. That's my goal. And to get recordings and to talk to as many representatives that want to come and talk to us. If you guys are there, I want you guys to come and talk to us. You guys got important stuff you want us to talk about? Show up there on Wednesday. We will give you time on the stream straight up to come talk to us. That's our promise to you. We'll show up, you guys show up. Come talk to us. We'll put anything that you want to talk about in New Hampshire that you think is important, we'll give you time for that. Because to us, the most important thing is really it's not any individual candidate. It's not this stream. It's not like anything it's to change New Hampshire for all of us. And there's a beginning point everywhere. And that beginning point for me had to be on the internet, and I feel the urge every day when we went to Starbucks, Marissa, there's an energy there that is completely different than anywhere else we can get, right? We are there on the ground. It's fucking freezing. No one is out there performatively. We are there and the candidates are there, and it just, I don't know like where else to get. That is the most natural motivation, coalescing feeling that you can get. Unity, class unity, unity with your demographics, whatever. What say you? Doesn't matter. But showing up in those spaces, I think, at least for us, is very important. And we want to empower all of you to show up too. And we will show up to the weirdest towns in New Hampshire. If we can go speak to people, we will do that, and we would love to do that. And as this legislative session kicks off, you will start, I think, seeing more of that. And with the weather getting better too, I think that's a big part of it out here. Obviously, like being out in space is a little more difficult out in New Hampshire in the wintertime. But the time's coming. And again, the whole point of this is to get people, get people into these streams, and into Discord, right? Because Discord, again, we want Discord to be our community bulletin. And that's what Discord is made for, right? Because it would be so much more helpful for everyone in their issues. Again, there's so many different issues everywhere, right? And like in micro issues too, in the smallest towns, they all deserve attention. But sadly, Marissa and I, we're two people, we can't give everything the attention it deserves. But in that Discord, everyone who's in that Discord cares a lot. You don't just join a Discord channel if you don't care, because it's like a cool thing to do. People are
It's like
in
10
there.
steps to get in there.
Yeah. People are active in there because people are being vetted too, right? You don't want bad actors in there. That's how it's moderated. It's a safe space for New Hampshire. And again, you want to recruit people to show up somewhere, perfect place to do it. There are, I think as of now, it's like 170 people in there. That's not a small community. It's a lot of people for Discord. So absolutely use Discord more, post more, and look out for us too in these public spaces. If there are events you guys think that we should be having a stream at, put it in the Discord. And on top of that, I'm going to give it down back to you, Marissa, in a second. We are going to plan a Discord only stream. I don't know what it's going to look like exactly. I don't know if we're going to do it once a week or once a month or once every other week. But to promote Discord being used, we're going to take that one stream, we're going to put it on Discord, and you can watch it if you're in Discord. That's the only way you can watch that stream, and you can talk to us directly. It's going to be like a community session, right? It's going to be, everyone's going to have a chance to speak, whoever wants to speak. And Discord is very easy to screen share and all that stuff too. But we think because there's a lot of people on Discord that don't use TikTok and don't use other things. It'll be good for them too to be able to jump in. So look out for that. If you're on Discord, we will have like a Discord only stream because we do think it's a very important place for what we're trying to do and to get people over there.
And I think part of the goal of the Discord only, and this is where like literally we've just been kind of marinating on this for the last like 12 hours. But I think my goal on that is I want to open up the floor and allow more folks from the community to be speaking on their own community's behalf, to talk about what's going on, talk about what meetings they've gone to, what learnings they've had. Because like Sina Hans in the comments is absolutely right. It's like I'm like begging people to just get involved on a town level. Absolutely. Like there's so much work that can be done. And I think that your videos on those topics have helped demystify for people. And that's something that we keep talking about as well, is like, how do we demystify this stuff for people who have never gotten involved before? Because I'm I'm acutely aware that the group of people we're talking to here has a whole sort of spectrum of experience in these issues, where there's a lot of people in this chat who have literally probably not actually ever showed up to like maybe not this chat today, literally, but like there's a lot of people in general in my comments and in my ecosystem that aren't even going to protests, right? Or aren't even going to the big like No Kings and stuff like that. And then there's other people who are more comfortable and taking more of these actions and getting involved in a local level. So I think demystifying those steps for people is really important. And so that's part of where Aria and my energy is coming from, of like, how do we as people, the people who our skill set is, we know how to use these apps, mostly depending on the day when my fucking audio doesn't work. But like generally speaking, like we know how to like do this stuff. And that's the value that we're able to add. And so we're trying to maximize for that. So couple of things regarding Wednesday specifically. I'm going to share my screen. Hold on. So like Aria said, we are going to be in Concord on Wednesday. So it is veto day. It also is in the morning. This sanctuary movement is delivering this petition to the governor and executive council meeting. So they are asking for as much public support physically as possible to show how important this is. This is specifically a response to what's happening around ICE activity that we're seeing ramp up across the state. So this has been happening in waves. And we are seeing another wave happening right now as well. If you have not heard anything about this, I would recommend this. I can actually put it in the chat right now, but this is linked in my bio as well. This is the petition that they're trying to get several thousand signatures on. So we're getting close. But really, we're talking about the increasing state violence that we're seeing from ICE. And we're talking about how this is going to continue to get worse, right? We know that like in the big, beautiful bill, they've allocated an incredible amount of funding towards what ICE is doing. We know that ICE is not, they have never just been focused on apprehending criminals. We all know that that is not true. And it has only the scope of what that they're doing is only getting bigger and bigger. So here's one way to get involved. I hear from people, to be honest, I hear from people on this issue a lot when it comes to their front door. I hear about this from people when they drive by something happening and they have a big emotional reaction to it, or when they start hearing reports of it happening in their community. And so my hope is that we can get people to be engaged in this issue on a longer term and push for some of this bigger change to support, because this is only going to become a bigger problem. So here's a way that you can show up if you're available. If not, sign the petition, pass the petition along to people that you know. Let's try to get as many signatures on this as possible. Also, I will just say that I am working behind the scenes on putting together some trainings. And if that is something that you are interested in participating in, about trainings around looking out for the safety of others in your community, please DM me and we can talk about it. More to come on that, but if you are interested, definitely send me a message and I will put you on a short list. We're going to try to do some in-person trainings in January with some that are obviously not facilitated by me. They're going to be facilitated by people who have a lot of expertise in community support. So of all kinds, as we are ramping up for a lot of are going to continue to be going down the path that they're on. So there's a lot of different ways we can kind of prepare. So if you're interested, send me a DM. But yeah, would love to see as many folks as we can on Wednesday. We're going to be around in Concord if you're in the area, and we will continue to let you guys where where we're going and where we're going to be in person. Because yeah, I think this is really important, and we're just getting started. Like sometimes I feel from this community, I feel like everyone has so much energy and like wants to do so much. And so I'm like so appreciative of that and wanting to maximize it on it as much as we can, while also finding sustainable ways to show up for the long term that leverage our skills. Because that's what we all kind of have to figure out, is like, where can we make the most impact? What are our roles in this moment that we're living through? So that's my that's what I got on that topic.
No, I love it. I don't have anything to add, honestly. I mean, I think you hit every nail that I would have talked about, and I hope to see. I just signed the petition myself, so I hope to see you guys all sign the petition. I posted it in Discord as well, so if you go to Discord, you guys can see it in there. It's one of the chats in there.
Thank you.
So, but there was something else, right? Really, there's something else related. Skip it right now.
We're going to try to make some funny content too, because Ari and I keep talking about how we do a bad job making funny content when we're together, because that's the kind of stuff that gets likes. But we're always just kind of in the biz.
Mm-hmm. No,
so the sanctuary hearing
sure.
it's not like a full hearing, Bridget. I'm sorry, I'm just catching up on the chat. It's basically this group is delivering the petition to the executive council and to the governor. So it's not like a traditional hearing. But that being said, you best believe that we will be talking about testimony opportunities. That is truly where I am planning to be a massive pain in the ass, because one of my one of the privileges I have in this moment is that of a relatively flexible schedule and a loud fucking mouth that's not afraid to talk in front of people. So we will be using those in person to our full advantage as much as we can in Concord over the coming months.
Yes, I will be. I wanted to, sorry, I'm answering a question in chat too. Someone's asking if I'm going to be on a show tonight. Yes, I'm going to be on a show tonight. I was going to drop that at the end. Paige Bushman will be there too, and I'll drop that flyer in the end. That's supposed to be in the last section of the show. You are skipping ahead here. So, but yes, you will see my pretty face later. And maybe you'll see me go live later after that. Maybe. But no, Monday you will see me solo. That's another thing we should prepare you guys for. I will be streaming solo at that time because I do have to test some things out too. We'll miss Marissa, but we will go into some very important things like housing. We're going to have a deep dive into the housing in New Hampshire, and I'm going to arm you guys, okay, with as much information as you can handle about housing, because that's it. That's the entire. That's the whole shebang, guys. That's the whole shebang. You want election advice? You want to tell Democrats how to win? Tell them not to use, like, every other word that comes out of their mouth should be housing. Gaza, housing. Okay, ICE, housing. They're all connected. They are all connected. Okay, but housing is the issue. It is the issue in New Hampshire. It'll win multiple races, and we will talk about it. We will get deep down into it on Monday. I'm excited about that. And if we can get into other things, we will too. But I really want to focus on housing because I do believe that as a community, that needs to be in our, front of mind, right? That needs to be the issue. Again, everything you guys want to talk about, I need, as a, comms type of guy, I want to kind of help you guys transition all your messages into housing related messages, right? Like, so whatever you care about, we're going to find a way to connect it Charlie Day style on Always Sunny in Philadelphia, connect it to housing. Okay. So that's going to be the goal on Monday.
There was a couple questions in the comments about what bills we should be tracking. I would recommend checking Kenz's profile. She made a couple of videos. So Ken's Nicholson, if you're not already following her, she's the OG TikTok queen. She inspired me to get started, and she's amazing. So follow her. She's talking about some of the bills that we need to be tracking and how you can track them. She'll do a screen share, show you everything you need to know. Heath Howard's also talking about a couple of the bills that he's tracking as we head into veto day specifically. So it's, this is a great example of people are starting to come in, right? And if you're interested in talking about the bill stuff, get in there and make some videos about what these specific bills are and how people can get involved. I know we've got some great state reps that are on TikTok. Alice Wade is back, Representative Alice Wade. I don't know if you guys are following her. Her content always does gangbusters. Follow her. She does great educational stuff, but it does feel like that stuff is starting to heat back up as well. So there is content out there. I just have not made it, but other people have. And then actually one other thing I'll say on that real quick, just because I saw a comment this morning on one of my videos about one of the anti-trans bills that's coming out, and somebody somebody was just like, I'm so tired already between this. And then there was an abortion. There's a big, can't even remember the specifics off my top of my head, but there was another egregious abortion ban that came out, or a bill. And somebody was in my comments like, I'm so tired already. And I was like, I get that. Like, I feel that. But also, like, this is the fucking ride, right? Like, this is the ride that we're on now. And so, like, as we head into legislative sessions, prepare your like internals, prepare your nervous system to be kind of inundated with this stuff. And it's almost like to what we were talking about earlier is like there's just like I don't want to under value how like important and significant this is, but like this is what's happening in New Hampshire, right? This is the reality of what's happening is we have some very, very extreme people, especially on the right, that are pushing forward some insane legislation. And so that's why we're doing all of this shit, right? It's not just for that, but like is to push back against what we're seeing, and push back forcefully. So do whatever you can to kind of get your nervous system in a place to be like, this is what we're heading into right now. And also, if you're somebody that's like seriously impacted by some of this stuff and you need to take a break and you need to take a step back from it, that's okay. Don't feel like, I don't know, man. I saw that thing about I was reading it in the Discord about the latest like anti-trans bill that we're talking about that's coming up in the House. And it's just like in New Hampshire, and my heart just like really fucking hurts for all of like our trans friends who have to see this stuff all the time and who have to like live in this. And so I also just want those folks to know that like you guys aren't in this by yourselves. This is the fight, right? And this is the fight that we're all ready to fight, because this is not the state I want to live in. And I know this isn't the state you want to live in, and we all deserve better. So that's where my energy is coming from, is like we're all on your side. And if you need to take a step back from this at any time, you need to do that. And that's totally fine.
Yeah. I'm gonna say rest is resistance, baby. Rest is resistance. Don't ever shy away from getting that rest, because we need you at 100%. And I completely agree. I think all the marginalized communities. I mean, and I want you guys in. This is not something we're immune from either. You know, the needing of rest, needing to take a step back. Like, I have been going through my own struggles with posting content recently. And I'm not trying to center myself here at all. Like, I want you guys to know that like no one's immune from this idea that like you get personally affected by the algorithm, by the spaces, by the news that you see. I am, again, just to give you a sense of what my algorithm looks like. My algorithm is very Islamophobic right now, like extremely Islamophobic. That's what the algorithm has figured out that is pissing me off right now. So it is like showing me a lot of that. It's showing me a lot of my teammates, for lack of a better word, liberals, a lot of establishment liberals, the way they talk about Muslims and Middle Easterners. It's like, it's hard, right? And if I didn't have like this community, if I didn't have people like Marissa, like my family, I mean, it would be even harder. But I think I've come to this understanding that what the algorithm is trying to do is divide us constantly, right? It's like trying to constantly put us at each other's throats. There's no point, right? There's absolutely no value in punching sideways or punching down. And that's what some of these people, they're suffering. And a lot of people, when they suffer, they need to take their suffering out on an easy victim. And the media manipulates us. Politicians manipulate us. I mean, politicians that I thought would defend me, like maybe not that I trusted politicians, but people that I thought, well, again, were on my side. I don't believe that anymore. Now I'm so much more. I have to be so much more cognizant of that. And I don't have legislation, at least not yet, that is threatening to remove me from this earth, right? In a way, right? To like erase my identity. There's no legislation currently to do that against a Muslim or Middle Easterner. So I can't even fucking imagine, so, and that's why for me, like, it's all about systems, right? It's all about what the system is doing to all of us. And there is no, like, we're stronger together ultimately. So those algorithms, if I could just give like some of my own advice, because I know like these social media, they're really good at doing this, right? They're really good at like breaking down your walls, like, and knowing like what you want to see or don't want to see, for that matter. So just keep that in mind and don't let that poison you the way it did to me sometimes, right? And it did to me in the past. Don't let it poison what your North Star is, which is ultimately no one is free until we're all free, man. You know, this has nothing to do with any individual group. This is rising tide lifts all ships. So every other bullshit cliche I'm gonna throw in there and give you that. Like we're just stronger together here. So I'm sorry that you also and that everyone that's been suffering under this regime and prior regimes, even democratic regimes. That's why I'm here. It's not about it's about all of us, I think, ultimately. And you guys all motivate me. You guys all inspire me every day. So I appreciate you guys.
It's tough, and it's tough. You're working through a lot of stuff in public too, which is, I think, trying to process the stuff and process through it publicly too is really tricky. And I appreciate you doing that. I appreciate you sharing so much of this with all, because as always, I think it broadens our awareness, and it certainly has broadened my own awareness,
Yeah, and I
because it's
love
true.
it.
These outbreaks are different. Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to say I love it because this is something that's like bothering me on a daily basis, right? It's like something it's one of it's like an annoying like symptom that you can't get rid of, and it's like following me around, and it's like this little dark cloud above me. And then I'm like, I don't know how to talk about this. I don't know how to navigate this. I want to maybe talk about it on stream. I talk to you about this. I'm like, how do I navigate this? What do I say? And then like I am afforded these opportunities from the community, but by being here with you all to like say what's on my mind and to get it off my chest. I hope you guys all feel the same way when you're talking to us too, because you guys allow me to like share these fears and these anxieties that I have, and I know all of you deal with in one way or another. And I appreciate the community for that, and I hope that you guys, at least in the future, when we build more of like this community stream that we're talking about, that everyone can feel comfortable enough to do that with us too, because we're all human. We all need a little support once in a while.
Absolutely. I wanted to say too, Lynn's in the comments on TikTok talking a lot about how we also like are all needing to be showing up for the community in very like literal ways, right? And showing up for people in showing up for people in very tactile ways who are in need right now. And I think we talk about a lot. We'll talk about that a lot, and we continue to. There's a lot of people in the community too that are doing great stuff. Sinahan as well, who's always punching above her weight, just posted a really great video the other day about how she is regularly supporting the food pantry by doing pickups, and she has something that's like worked into her routine, and how she's seen that drop off, right, in even just like in supporting food pantries. And so it is true how I feel like the mutual aid piece of all of this kind of like comes in ebbs and flows, where people are paying attention and then sort of attention drifts away, and that's such a horrible symptom of like the moment that we're living in, where there's just so much like news to keep up with, and you truly cannot keep up with everything, right? You can't keep up with everything and also be doing all of the things as well. But I think it's such an important reminder that like as we're all thinking about like how are we doing work that we haven't done in the past, and how are we doing it in a sustainable way, like how are we building mutual aid into that, right? Whether it's from a perspective of financial contributions, if that is somewhere that you are able, or just doing the work, right? And we talk about NHMarf a lot. Is That's an incredible organization if you haven't gotten involved. Um, and it's so easy to get involved, because the way they do their events is they have like a free store every single week, in multiple areas across the state. I know they have one in Manchester, they have one in Dover. Look them up on Instagram if you're not already following them. It's MARF, Mutual Aid Relief Foundation. And you can just show up. You don't have to tell them you're going to be there ahead of time. Say, hey, I'm here to help, and they'll point you in the right direction and say, hey, start moving cases of water. That's like the lowest barrier for entry, if you have the physical capacity to do that, and that's something that you want to do with your time. So finding ways to like build those types of things into your recurring routine is really important, because I think we all get a lot of times people will get really enthusiastic about that work around the holidays or around Thanksgiving. But finding ways that you can do it in a way that is ongoing and sustainable in your life is really important. A lot of these food pantries are being literally like held together by like two old ladies who just are doing their absolute best. And so if you're able to come in there and bring some energy and bring some support, it can be really, really impactful. So yeah, and the Sinahan, choose what you can focus on. We got to divide and conquer a little bit. It's absolutely true. I think that's like a common thing people experience when they're getting engaged in activism or political advocacy or political anything for the first time, is that feeling of like you have to do everything. And that was one of the first lessons I really learned like last winter as I was starting to get engaged in this stuff for the first time, which was every organizer I met was like, please do not try to just like reinvent the wheel. And I'm so glad I took that advice, because like there are so many people out there that are already doing this work, that are experts. Help them. They need your help, and like your towns need help, and like there's all these ways you can get involved without having to try to reinvent the wheel. Yes, that description of the algorithm is so accurate. But yeah,
Crazy.
that's it. And then yeah, good note from Sinahan. If you need help, anyone reading this, please speak up. This time of year is hard for many reasons, and I promise you are so important, and we need you here. It's so true. Yeah, what do you got? What do you got, Arya?
So I got a question that just came in through TikTok. Is how do we? Well, first let me just the last thing I want to say is the algorithm we really should do. We joke about it, Marissa and I, doing like a For You page, like reveal, like what our For You pages look like. I seriously send her every time my For You page acts crazy. I send her like what it's sending me.
Do it today. I got like 10 more minutes in me. Let's do
okay.
For You page.
Okay, before I do that, let me just talk about one of the questions in TikTok, which is how do we eject Kelly Ayotte? Let me tell you how you eject Kelly Ayotte or anyone like Kelly Ayotte. You got to be excited to vote. That's it. And I know it sounds simple, right? But voting, people don't just show up and vote. And when Republicans win elections, that's what's happening. People are not showing up to vote. Let me tell you, as someone who has worked in government, who has worked in campaigns on the ground level, something that they tell you as an organizer all the time is that it's all about get out the vote. That it's all about exciting people to show up and vote, to get people to the polls. When turnout is high, Democrats win. Not that that's a great thing anymore, but that's like liberals tend to win. Democrats win when people show up. When people don't show up, when there's like a turnout depression, Republicans win. So Republicans bank on turnout depression. They bank on less excitement. They bank on lessening your ability to actually show up to the polls. That's why a lot of the times they're trying to make it harder for people. That's why we're so lucky in New Hampshire. Like I at least in parts of New Hampshire, I'm not waiting in line for 4 hours to vote ever on any election day. I've never had to do that. I don't know if anyone in New Hampshire has had to do that. If you have, let me know. I'm actually curious. I know in Georgia, like you're guaranteed to wait in line. Like you're guaranteed because they do not want people to vote. It's just like so how do we remove Kelly Ayotte? The same way we remove establishment Democrats who have been screwing us over in New Hampshire, the same way you would remove anyone. You need to excite your electorate to vote. You can't excite them by being like, oh my God, the fascists are coming. The fascists are here now. Okay, they're here. So you can't fearmonger them. You can't fearmonger about them because they're already lasering boats off of Venezuela without any recourse. They are doing everything they want with the Epstein list. They're acting like they are. The amount of things that have changed in a short period of time is crazy. And that's why, again, I want to remind all of you guys that we are never going back to what it was. Like for better or for worse, what the world we lived in before this administration is never returning. I need you all, everybody, I need everyone to internalize that, because the next question becomes, what do you want to come next? Right? What do you want to come after this? Do you want more Maggie Goodlander? Do you want more Chris Pappas? You want more Gene Shaheen after this? So we can get more Trump after they fuck up again? Right? Like, so again, I think there's this, and it's not within progressives really. I feel like progressives are and leftists are kind of in tune with this, but liberals, a very like establishment liberals, I think, have this kind of fever dream that they live in right now, that like we're gonna flip a switch and all of a sudden everything that's been done is gonna reset. Like it's like no, we are past that point now. We are way past that point. Future America is gonna look much different than past America. It's just what effect are we gonna have on that, and that what we depend on is excitement. How do we excite low propensity voters to the polls? You excite them with policies. You excite them with populist policies, affordability policies. We're not reinventing the wheel here. It's not fucking magic. Okay? Like, Zoran built the script. I'm not saying that exactly is going to work in New Hampshire, but I'm saying like the platform, the policies, these cross state lines. When you talk about affordability and housing, what's a bigger issue in New Hampshire than housing? That is the biggest issue, 5 times more important than the next important issue. So the same answer in every situation. Kelly Ayotte, whether it's the president, we have to excite people. How do we excite people to show up and not fear them into showing up? Because the fear isn't working, right? So that, I don't know if you have anything to add to that, Marissa.
No, I mean, Lynn's in the comments saying, those already affected. No, it's not the same world. And I think that's very true. Obviously, that's what we're seeing is the world already has changed so aggressively. But interestingly, like I talk to a lot of people who are affected by these policies, but still don't see the bigger picture and still are just associating the problems with Trump or the Trump administration. And it's hard to kind of get people over that hump, right? And again, it's like when we're talking on TikTok or we're talking on streams, whatever, we know we're talking to people who are coming from a lot of different perspectives here. And so sometimes you might hear us say something and say like, that sounds so obvious, but it's not obvious to everyone. And so that's part of what we're trying to do is, I don't know, we're processing through it together in real time, and we're processing through it as the individuals that we both are. But yeah, the landscape has changed completely. And I think getting people enthusiastic about these policies, that it's not even just policies, it's the reality that we don't have to live this way. Some of us know that, like, we have internalized that, like, this is not how things have to be, but you still talk to a lot of Democrats and they still want to get into the weeds on ACA and about like, well, this specific piece of it and this, it's like, they're doing the best they can, and what else are they supposed to do? You have to be on another planet now, because like, again, that is like, we don't have to be squabbling over scraps. The Democrats, the establishment Democrats like Gene Shaheen and all these people want us to think that we have to squabble for scraps, and we don't. And that is the importance of the candidates and the policies and the things that we're talking about now, because we have to paint that picture of a future that is so hard for people to wrap their heads around, because we have been so indoctrinated in this country by like this American this American propaganda that like this is the best way to do things, when it's not. The fact that we have people not able to pay for medical care, who are not able, like was seeing posts yesterday, all sorts of people talking, who are in this community, talking about the difficult decisions that they now have to make because open enrollment closes in like 3 days. And so people are needing now to decide, because of this decision yesterday, if they're going to pay for healthcare for themselves for next year. And it's like, it doesn't have to be this way. And we have to sort of move past the squabbles that the establishment Democrats want us to be having. And we have to paint the bigger, brighter future. And so that's where I'm at. That's my thought going into the weekend. So
yeah, great.
Want to do a little FYP roulette?
Sure. I mean, do you have? Yeah, let's do that. Fine. I was gonna say let's drop some. All right, so we're gonna do some FYP roulette here. Hopefully it doesn't embarrass me too much. We'll do a couple of them here. Oh, it's our friend. Okay. This is Blockscast. Okay, so if you guys don't know, this is a New Hampshire operative, a New Hampshire political operative. Is this guy Blockscast? Got about 1 million followers. He just endorsed Paige, which was like awesome, and he's gonna be involved politically in New Hampshire. I guess he like worked for Bernie Sanders or and for the Clinton campaign at some point, and it's a mystery who he is. We don't know who he is, but we have talked to him. He seems pretty cool. He's very centrist. And he makes that clear to us that he is very centrist compared to us. But the fact that he's yes, and he's very anti-establishment. That he makes that clear that he's very anti-Maggie Goodlander. He's very anti New Hampshire establishment. So let's see what he has to say about Nicholas Fuentes here. Oh, I'm very interested.
Cover a controversial figure, it causes a lot of debate in the comments. With that being said, people take all the comments that they see in my comment section and assume it's all of my followers. 56% of the people watching don't follow me, so I'm assuming 56% of the people or somewhere around there were also commenting. Seeing a lot of comments like, oh, good to know Blockscast followers think this. It's like, no, that's not how comment sections work. Well, you failed to mention how he thinks about this, and you failed to mention how he thinks about that. Yeah, Piers Morgan did that for 2 solid hours, and he leaned into all of it.
So I don't know if anyone knows about like this interview, but Piers Morgan interviewed Nicholas Fuentes, and I was like live chatting, like I was like sending links to Marissa live of when this was happening. It was the silliest fucking interview I've ever seen. It was literally, the questions were like this. Like a literal question was, are you a racist? Like he literally asked him to his face, like, are you a racist? He's like, yeah, I think I'm cool with that. He's like, do you think Hitler is cool? And he's like, yeah, he's pretty cool. And he's like, are you sure? Are you sure? He's like, and I'm just like, this is Black Mirror. This is an episode of Black Mirror I'm watching right now. You know, like he's like, yeah. He's like, well, you think women shouldn't vote? He's like, are you a virgin? He asked him like right out the interview, are you a virgin? And he's like, are you sure you're not gay? He fucking asked him that. And he goes, no, I'm not.
The answer?
He goes, I'm not gay, but I gotta tell you, I think being around women is very annoying. I'm like, brother, I don't know, dude. Like, let's have another conversation about this in a little bit. You know, like let's think about what you just said there. And it's so good. When I tell you guys, this is a must-watch interview because it's not just ridiculous, but I want you guys to get a sense of the Overton window, right? I talk about the Overton window, which is like, this is mainstream YouTube channel, and they're like, you're Nazi. You like Nazis. He's like, yeah. I guess I could say that because it's cool. They make cool edits. They make cool videos. You know, like it's like, oh my fuck, what is happening? You know, I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it.
So just to be clear, is Nick Fuentes a virgin?
He is. Yes, he is. Yes.
Interesting.
I don't think
that's a whole topic that I'm not the right person to speak on this topic, but there is I see a lot of very interesting commentary about just the way that patriarchy has caused so much internalized homophobia that is now coming out in a way that is destroying our democracy. Just as a general theme, I'm not saying anything about anyone in particular, and I find that very interesting.
Yeah, and someone's speaking, like, this sounds like a Discord movie night. The night that I was going to like stream, that I was thinking about streaming, that's what I was gonna like play this and just react to it because it is so insane. Like you just can't. Oh my god, you just all right. Let's do one or two more here. Just go ahead.
So anytime.
Yeah, wait, I have one quick thing that somebody put in the comments.
Yeah.
Nerdy Blonde is in my TikTok comments saying that
Please.
One of the new Epstein photos that came out was with Dean Kamen. I'm going to show you. Hold on, let me share my screen. Do you know who who Dean Kamen is?
Not by name, but
I'm
if
gonna,
I see
I'm going to tell you all. Hold on.
Because these photos were just dropped today, by the way. Surprise, surprise, with the whole ACA vote, and then surprise. What convenient timing, you know?
So Dean Kamen is the Segway inventor.
Oh my god.
He also, this is an article that somebody, I can't remember if I talked about this on a stream or not, or if I just posted about it, but he is a person that I was not prepared to talk about this today. So bear with me as I fumble my way through this. But he has a medical company that makes a medical research company based here in New Hampshire that receives a ton of federal funds that have, there's some accusations that have floated around about the ethical nature of these funds coming from the Shaheen, that Gene Shaheen has an involvement, and because Gene Shaheen has an involvement in everything. And then the important reason I wanted to bring this up today is because you know who works for his company now, ARMI, who is an executive at his company, is Stephanie Shaheen. So that's just a fun little rabbit hole for folks if they want to go down. I'm going to put this link to this article in the Twitch chat just as an FYI. If you're interested in doing another deep dive, I would recommend looking into ARMI, the money that they have been getting from the federal government, how Gene Shaheen has been stewarding that, and then how Stephanie Shaheen has built a career and a fortune through this company as well. So just interesting. Anyway, just breaking news that I just did a quick Google search. It looked like there had already been some loose ties between him and Epstein, so it's not a huge surprise, but again, it's just one of those things where I'm like, holy fucking shit, how is everyone in our United States government tied in with this Epstein fellow in like 1.5 degrees of separation max? They all had each other's phone number. Like, this is so, I just like, my brain continues to think that I have like absorbed it all. And then I'm like, no, oh, fuck, there's more. So anyway, this is our shining star here in New Hampshire, Dean Kamen, pictured with Epstein. That's all. I just somebody put that in the comments. Thought it was worth mentioning.
I thought the inventor of the Segway died using a Segway. Was that like an urban legend? I thought that's like, didn't like one of the creators of the Segway die on a Segway? I thought that was the story.
That's something. There's something there. Maybe there's a few inventors. There's probably more than one inventor, because when you have an invention that great that changes culture the way that the Segway did, there's probably a few people involved in
absolutely, yeah, for sure. Anyway, I mean, like, yeah, I swear to God, that's not something I'm making up. I swear I heard something like that. But no, I mean, it's perfectly said. And again, Epstein, right? The visceral. I mean, I think the without getting too much into it, because again, another one of these, like, we fucking like we breathe oxygen. Yeah, humans breathe oxygen. Thank you for that information. There we go. Okay. Okay, so it was real. It was. He was a CEO at the time, I guess. The boss, the Segway boss. It is. You can't make this shit up. But no, I mean, it's you're hearing more and more about things post Epstein death. That is just, okay, so the egregious shit is the egregious shit, right? The sex trafficking, which people think that it was just like him, right? And it's no. He was the middleman for so many important people all over the world. It was a completely different environment they were in. Not just that, but most people apparently weren't even calling Epstein for his sex connections. They were calling him for his tax expertise. They were defrauding the US government with his help in so many different ways. At a certain point, there are some emails where he's like, he might consider running for president. Like, think about how like bulletproof you think you must be with all that shit around you, and you're like, oh, it wouldn't be a bad thing if I like ran. It's like these are things that are just rumored and written in his like documents and stuff. But just to touch on, and I just want to touch on really quickly something that Pat said that I think is very important. having to do with the Nicolas Fuentes thing, right? Which is, there are a lot, and I know Pat is a lot smarter. He's right. Pat is right when he says this, that Nicolas Fuentes has mastered the art of rage baiting. He has. But we are in serious danger of lose. I'm gonna tell Dave you said that. We are in serious danger of losing this country to Nicolas Fuentes and Tucker Carlson. Okay, like I've been saying this for months, and we are now seeing Nicolas Fuentes enter mainstream media. Okay, they are platforming him now. Yes, he's saying insane shit, but he is saying it in front of hundreds of thousands and millions of people now. He is being platformed, right? Why is he so popular? It's not because he's a Nazi. It's because he's anti-Zionist, because he's anti-Semitic, right? Because his messaging is anti-Israel from an anti-Semitic viewpoint, right? From a terrible viewpoint, right? But his messaging is still identical to our messaging, which is don't kill Palestinian civilians. Stop killing babies. That's verbatim his messaging. That's what he's saying. Nicolas Fuentes, a neo-Nazi out and about, neo-Nazi, white supremacist, racist, is out here outflanking your leaders to their left. We are in serious danger here, guys. Tucker Carlson and Nicolas Fuentes are the most dangerous political operatives in this country right now. I'm going to say it again. The most dangerous, because they are good at what they do. They are media savvy. They are Trump, but smarter. And it's not going to be, and again, you are watching the capitulation of that space that's supposed to be like, stop the genocide. The neo-Nazis are taking that space from you. Let that sink in. The neo-Nazis are taking the anti-genocide space from liberals. We're going to lose perpetually. Again, we might have like a little skip of hope, but these MAGA cultists, if you don't give them something like affordability politics and like housing, they are going to move to the next. They're going to move to the next MAGA cult, which is the Nicolas Fuentes Groyper cult. That's coming. Charlie Kirk, again, I want to remind you guys, Charlie Kirk and Nicolas Fuentes were not friends. They were enemies. A lot of people think Charlie Kirk got taken out by one of Nicolas Fuentes' fans, okay? So they are much harsher than the Charlie Kirk version of Republicans. So that's the only thing I want to just leave with this. Nicolas Fuentes, he's a joke, but he commands the attention of a lot of young boys right now, a lot of young men. He does, and that's the future. I mean, those are the future, like, you know, some of the decision makers in this country, right? Hopefully, I'm okay with women making all the decisions from now on, but if some men do, some of them are going to be part of that group, okay? And we have to be careful of that. We have to be cognizant of it, that we are being left out to dry by our leaders. We know what the Republicans are about. We expect more from our leaders. And that's why we deserve contrast in these elections. That's what we're all about. We want contrast. We want morally righteous candidates.
I'm just saying, you got very lucky with that being the first video that came up on your FYP. Like, we literally just did FYP roulette, and that is why we're talking about this. Arya has been chomping at the bit to talk about this for months. He's like, let's do a fucking whole episode on this shit. And I'm like, I cannot. I do not have it in my soul to do that. But you got your moment. You made it happen.
Yeah, I'm happy. You know, this community works in just cosmic ways, you know. Just got to talk about everything I wanted to, you know. Next time
I'm spending way too much time talking to me. You said the word manifest this morning. I was
yes,
like, oh my God.
I did. Yeah, no, I was gonna say soon enough I'm gonna talk about how I am a secret misandrist. I'll make the ladies like love me more. I'll teach you guys a little something.
It's not secret, my friend. You're pretty open about it. All right, let's leave it on that note for the day, I
Agree,
think. And
agree.
what plugs do you got? What do you got coming up?
I got a couple plugs, a couple very nice plugs. The first one is today. Let me just pull up the little tag. They made a nice little graphic for me, so I have to like plug it here. So I told you guys about it takes a village podcast. Oh, that's not right. So it takes a village is a podcast that's a lot like ours. They do theirs, and we have someone that's in our community, K file, obviously, or the K law, K file. I always say K file. It's K law. Who is a big part of our group, and she is also one. I think she's one of the producers, and she invited Paige and I to join this podcast, and 6:30 p.m. So let me just screen share here. Sorry, I'm unprepared right now. Yeah, so look at that cool little graphic they made for me. Marissa, why don't you make me a graphic? That's so messed up.
That's the most misogynist shit I've ever heard. Are you kidding me? Because
Shit.
I'm a girl.
Hit the button. Hit the button. Hit the misogyny button.
Ari's for months been like, oh, let's put some nice branding on the channel. It's gonna look so good. You make the branding.
Yeah, so come see me and Paige today at two demerits. Shit, I got a lot to make up here.
Do you want me to like take notes for the meeting too and put out a lunch order?
Please, I got the AI doing that. Don't worry about that. I gave her a woman's voice though to make it a super special.
Of course.
You're gonna get me in so much trouble, dude. I took months to cultivate this.
I know.
This mask.
I'm going to bat for you, my dude, but you just burned it all.
Oh my lord! Just smile more, okay? just
oh my God. All right, guys, that's it. You don't get to plug anything else.
Oh my God! Oh no!
So, guys, I'm looking for a new co-host for my live show. If anybody's interested, taking applications.
Oh yeah. Okay, so yeah, show up to 6:30 for this. Also, I would definitely check out. Paige has got this cool series going on that I think is like a really different. It's called Your Words, My Wardrobe, and it's gonna start today. I don't want to give away too much about it, but she is known for wearing very, I think, unique and awesome clothing that has messaging on it. And I don't want to give too much away. I think it's a nice surprise. Definitely check out her profile on TikTok. Go follow her on TikTok. I think you guys are going to like that series that's coming out soon. Besides that, my only other shout out is, again, Monday, I'll be solo streaming here 100%. And Wednesday, we will be at the State House. Again, we would love to see you guys if you guys can show up there. And if you do, if you guys want to talk about anything, we'll give you the floor on our stream. So looking forward to seeing you guys.
Maybe not anything, but like a lot of things.
We'll see.
But it's true. I think that's like a goal of ours, is like putting ourselves in more IRL situations, and in doing so, opening this show up a little bit more to bring in different people. I think things went really well when we went to the Starbucks the other day. We definitely want to try to go back out on the line soon and support those guys again. But this will be next, this is what we'll be doing for next week. Yeah, like Arya said, he's streaming live on Monday solo because I have some stuff going on that day, but we'll be back for the rest of the week. So Wednesday will be, I don't quite know what our schedule will look like exactly on Wednesday, but we will, because we're going to be, there for 9:30. We'll be there a little bit earlier for the gathering around the sanctuary activities. We plan to be there for a chunk of the day, and then we'll be back for our regular live this time on Friday. So next week we'll be busy, but looking forward to it. Let us know if you're going to be there in person in Concord, and we'll look out for you. And yeah, let's try to use the Discord. Be in the Discord if you're not already. We'd love to see you there. And even if you don't check it often, it's a good place to just kind of have this is like a raft if everything else goes away overnight. If things on TikTok start going haywire, it's like we want to have everybody in that space. So That's all I got. I think that's it. Everybody have a good weekend. Do something fun. We're
Enjoy
gonna go to a
yourselves.
Polar Express thing. I'm very excited. We're going to Portland and we're gonna like do a little Polar Express train thing. So gonna have some holiday magic, some holiday cheer. Hope you guys
That sounds
do
fun.
a little bit of bring a little joy as well.
I'll be watching the Patriots win the division. Let's go. Go Pats. All right. I'll talk to you guys. Love you guys. Be safe.
Bye,
Talk to you guys
guys.
tonight. Bye.